The word rapture does not exist in the Bible, and what you've been taught about disappearing into thin air might not be the whole truth. What the early church actually believed will shock you. Millions of Christians around the world are waiting for a secret rapture, but few people know that this doctrine only became popular in the last 200 years. Before that, for almost 1,800 years, the church had a completely different understanding of the return of Christ. Here at Hidden Mysteries of the Bible, we dive into truths that have been buried by tradition. And today, we're going to examine what the scriptures really reveal. The pre-tribulation rapture theory we know today was popularized by John Nelson Darby around 1830 in England. But here's what most people are never told. The early Christians, including the church fathers like Irenaeus, Justin Martyr, and Tertullian, never taught this. They believed that the church would go through the Great Tribulation and meet Christ at his visible, glorious return. So how did a doctrine that is barely 200 years old replace almost 1,800 years of teaching? Let's go to the scriptures. The most quoted passage is 1 Thessalonians 4:17. Then we who are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. But the Greek word used here is harpazo, which means to seize, to snatch, to take suddenly. It is the same word used when Philip was taken away by the Spirit in Acts chapter 8. That event was not invisible. It was not secret. And more importantly, this passage describes a public event. There is a shout, the voice of the archangel, the trumpet of God. Does that sound secret to you? Now listen to the words of Jesus himself in Matthew 24. Then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in heaven, and all the tribes of the earth will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Every tribe will see him. This directly contradicts the idea of a secret disappearance. Jesus clearly taught that first would come tribulation, then signs in heaven, and then his coming. The parable of the wheat and the tares reveals something even more disturbing. Jesus said that at the end of the age, the wicked are taken first, and then the righteous are gathered. This completely reverses the modern narrative, and Paul is even more direct in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Let no one deceive you by any means, for that day will not come unless the falling away comes first, and the man of sin is revealed. The Antichrist must be revealed first. There is no secret escape. Why was this truth obscured? Because a church prepared for tribulation is a strong church, but a church waiting for an easy escape is not prepared for what is coming. The early Christians understood this. They were willing to suffer. They were willing to die. They knew that following Christ meant carrying a cross, not avoiding one. The real question is not when we will be taken. The real question is whether we will be ready. The Bible does not promise a shortcut. It promises victory through perseverance. Jesus himself said, "In the world you will have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world." Were you taught to wait for a secret escape, or were you taught to stand firm? If this message opened your eyes, leave your like and subscribe to Hidden Mysteries of the Bible. And tell me in the comments, are you ready for the truth, even if it destroys your comfort zone?